Hey, how's it going, guys? So we're back here again. Right now, I'm doing my second deck profile for the night. I have Sean here. He got second place today with his deck. He's playing Mega Mewtwo, a very competitive and very popular deck in the format right now. And this is not going into Sun and Moon. This is going still on X and Y format. It's a really good deck. So yeah, so we're gonna get into his deck and see what he was playing and how he felt throughout the tournament. So,
all right, guys. So start off incredibly standard. You run 4 damage change Mewtwo's and 3 Psychic Infinity Mega Mewtwo's. The reason that I don't run the Evolutions Mewtwo, because I know some Mega Mewtwo decks run 1 Evolutions Mewtwo, just in case they need to hit another Mewtwo for weakness or something like that. But I don't really see the Mewtwo mirror enough to where I feel like it's necessary, and I just like the consistency of having 4. I actually used to only run 3 Mewtwo's, and I got stuck so many times, so had to go for the consistency's sake and just do 4-3.
Cool, perfect.
So yeah, that's super normal, and I think damage change is too important to give it up for Evolutions.
Okay.
And then again, super standard for Mewtwo lists, 2/2 Trubbish and Garbodor line. Shuts off all the opponent's abilities, makes Volcanion a super easy matchup, makes it possible to beat Ray, makes it possible to beat Greninja. It's like really pivotal to get this out in probably half the matchups you're ever going to play. So definitely have to have this. Some people have only been playing 1 Garbodor, but I think especially going into regionals with Sun and Moon coming out and all the new ability decks, you're going to have at least 2 Garbodor. And I'm thinking of adding a 3rd Trubbish for regionals itself.
Just for the consistency, right?
Yeah, exactly, because you want to make sure you get Trubbish out turn 1, especially at regionals next weekend, because so many decks are going to be like Plume decks or things like that. So Trubbish always important.
Trubbish is technically like the secret tech of your deck.
Yeah, without Trubbish, Mewtwo is so much worse.
Okay, perfect.
Again, still super simple. 2 Shaman, 1 Hoopa. Shamans are just for consistency's sake. I used to run 1, it would be prized all the time, I get screwed over, so went back up to 2 just because I had to. I don't actually like doing it, it's their liabilities. And then same for Hoopa, but when Hoopa's prized or you start Hoopa, it's really not that big of a deal as long as you have an Ultra Ball and you can get like 1 Mewtwo or 1 Shaman out. So I've always felt comfortable running 1 and just working around if it's prized or if I start it, but it's rare.
Would you feel more comfortable like playing 2 like today during your matchups? Did it ever get stuck in your prizes and you felt like if I had that second Hoopa, it would help me win faster, win maybe the 1 match or something?
It was never prized today actually, but I started with it almost every game actually. But I actually tend to play Mewtwo a little slower than some people. I know some people like to pile on energy on 1 Mewtwo and just start like infinitying, but I like to power up 2 and just keep them in the back line. So I'm actually okay with starting Hoopa and just leaving him up there as prize fodder. Because as long as I'm powering up 2 Mewtwo's in the back for the late game, I'm fine. So I like running 1.
Cool, perfect.
Cool. And then,
so we're gonna go into the supporters.
Yeah, more standard supporter stuff. For Sycamore, you gotta run 4 Sycamore, you gotta dig through your deck. You run the Super Rod just in case, so it's fine if you gotta burn through some cards. It's really important to get, like I said, Trubbish and Garbodor and your Mewtwo line out as fast as possible. Sycamore helps you do that.
Cool, perfect.
2N, same deal. They're really good for late game. If you want to end your opponents to 1 or 2, that's pretty much how you make comebacks with Mewtwo. Is you do that, you Garbodor at the same time, and then hopefully they're stuck. So yeah, 4 Sycamore 2N is like the standard in almost every deck right now.
Perfect.
2 Lysander. I used to only run 1 and replace a Pokemon Ranger, but I actually just normally will adjust this based on the meta that's happening at our local store. And recently, no one's been playing the Plume Lock or the Evolutions line, so I've just been running 2 Lysander, and this usually gets me around that matchup anyway.
Cool. Sounds good.
And then the last one is Hex, which again, you don't technically need if you're gonna use Garbodor, but I think turn 1 Hexes are amazing, and when I'm able to just go first and turn 1 Hex people and they can't set up, it basically gives me 2 turns before they get to play the game.
It gives you an extra turn to set up.
And it's also good in case like you're playing Greninja and they manage to kill your Garbodor, you can just have this, and I just think Hex is important, even if you play Garbodor.
Cool, perfect.
Yep. Oh my gosh, there we go. And for the rest of the trainers, super standard again. 4 Verse Seeker, 4 Trainer's Mail. Some decks have been running 3 Trainer's Mail, but I think it's really important in this list, especially to find Floatstones for the Garbodor to work out. You gotta have 4 Verse Seeker to reuse whatever support teleporter you're going to need, and got to have Trainer's Mail to dig for the Spirit Links or the Float Stones.
Yeah, it helps out the deck because you're running through the deck so fast that there are key elements of the deck, like the Spirit Link, the Float Stone that you need to keep going or to set up your combos. So running the 4 Trainer's Mail, it looks great with the consistency.
Yeah, most of my deck you'll actually see is mostly consistency cards. It's not techs for other matchups or weird things like that. Like I don't tech for Gardevoir or anything like that, because I just think straight Mewtwo is so powerful and so consistent.
Cool, perfect.
So more consistency stuff. 4 Ultra Ball, super standard. This is the one that isn't quite as standard as I think it should be, but 4 Mega Turbo. 4 Mega Turbo is so important in this deck, especially because a lot of the times you're Ultra Balling away your regular energy, you are Sycamoring away your regular energy. This is so good late game, so always run 4 Mega Turbos. I think it's the best card in the deck, honestly. It's the reason Mewtwo can come back and get kills in one shot.
Cool, perfect.
And then you run a heavy Floatstone line as of recently, just because of all the abilities popping up everywhere. And like I said, going into regionals, 3 Floatstones, super important. Got to find it early. And if one Trubbish gets knocked out, you still want to have 2 Floatstones in the deck for another Trubbish and a Hoopa or a Shaman if it gets stuck.
If it gets stuck, perfect.
Yeah. And then 1 Super Rod, no special charge. I took out the special charge in replace of a 3rd Floatstone because I feel like with Mega Turbos, I prioritize discarding my Psychic Energies and prioritize keeping my DCEs so that I can just always make a Turbo, and I don't really feel like I've never needed the special charge. So just 1 Super Rod. And then 3 Spirit Links. I cut 1. I could run 4 instead of the extra Trainer's Mail, but I feel like having 4 Trainer's Mail is just better. And even if you prize 2 of these, you really only need 1 Mewtwo in the beginning. You're probably going to take some prizes to find the other ones.
To find the other one, cool.
So 3 is always what I've needed. And then this is super standard for Mewtwo as well. 2 Shrines and 1 Parallel. Parallel plus Garb pretty much annihilates Mega Ray, which is really big in the format right now. It's won a lot of League Cups around here, and I think it's going to be really big for regionals. And Shrine is just too important. You got to have damage change with Mega Mewtwo so that he just never dies, and they have to one-shot him.
Right.
And that's that.
When you were playing the 3 stadiums, did you ever feel that you lost the stadium war? Like when your opponent had the 4th stadium to take out one of your parallel cities or something like that?
It can hurt, but I think as long as you make sure you play the stadium second, you're pretty much fine. Because even in the end, if they have the last stadium, you're probably so far into the game that it's not going to make that big of a difference anyway. So yeah, it just depends on the matchup. But save the Parallel if you're fighting Mega Ray. Save the Shrines if you're playing Greninja or something like that.
So as you're playing, you strategically plan out your couple moves ahead, which is great.
And then, again, extremely standard for Mewtwo. Mewtwo's one of the tighter decks in the format. Like, there's really not much creativity in Mewtwo decks simply because there's no room for it.
There's no room,
You can run the Metal version if you want to tech against Gardevoir or things like that, but for the most part, it's maybe 1 or 2 cards you can change out. But that's why I like the deck. I love how consistent it is. So 4 DCs, 7 Psychic Energies. This is enough to where if you prize a couple, you still got a lot to work with in terms of Mega Turbo and just attaching them manually. And like I said, 4 DCs because you don't run Special Charge, so you have to run all 4.
Cool, perfect.
And that's the whole deck.
Cool, perfect. And thank you for showing us your deck, man.
Yeah.
One last thing, with regionals around the corner, which is next week.
Yeah.
Do you feel confident going into regionals with Mega Mewtwo, or is there something else that you're possibly thinking of playing?
It's a good question because I've been really consistent with Mewtwo. I usually either get 1st or 2nd at all our locals with Mewtwo, and I love this deck. I've been playing this deck for almost half a year now, so I'm really comfortable with it.
Right.
But Sun and Moon scares me.
Yes.
Sun and Moon is extremely terrifying. I think that the Anaheim Regionals is going to be a total slobber knocker of a bunch of different decks clashing, and I really don't think there's a correct deck to play at regionals unless someone has unlocked the secrets and has not told us yet.
Yeah, that's the good thing about a new set coming out before a big event, that it's anyone's game. There's not a meta, there's not everyone is going to be playing this.
Right.
So do you feel more confident playing something that you've been consistent with, that you've gotten enough wins under your belt, or do you want to test the water and maybe play something else?
Yeah, again, it's hard. I've been working with Tauros Garbodor. I still think Garbodor's important. I think if you're not playing a deck that shuts off abilities, you're screwed for Sun and Moon. So it's either going to be that or I mean, this won me third at Elite Cup, so I feel really confident with this deck. I'm most likely going to play this Mewtwo unless I get really comfortable with Tauros really fast. But it's most likely going to be Mewtwo and just stick it out, see what happens.
Cool, perfect. And then when it comes to like item lock, because like item lock is something that people are talking about.
Yep.
How do you feel going into this with item lock flying around?
I actually played an item lock today, and I have two strategies against item lock. And the first one is if I go first, obviously you prioritize getting Trubbish and Floatstone down, because then it just nullifies their whole point of their deck, and you basically run over them. If you don't do that, you just don't evolve the Mewtwo, and you attach 3 Psychic Energies. There's nothing in their deck that's ever going to one-shot a Mewtwo, and you just damage change forever until you find your Garb, Floatstone, Hex, all the stuff you need, and you literally just damage change forever, and they can't do anything. That's the same thing I do with when they play like all the evolution line. You never evolve until you can murder them.
Cool, perfect.
So, yeah.
So it sounds like you have a strategy going into regionals, and
Yep.
it sounds like you're very confident. And hopefully, I see you at the top tables at this regionals event.
Awesome, thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. So that was his deck. I want to thank you guys for watching the channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I will be bringing more footage about regionals and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys and have a good night.